Coming up tonight on YCN News, 64 people are under arrest and charged with trespassing after occupying the governor's office in Montpelier Monday night. A 33-year-old Brattleboro man will spend a year and 1 day in federal prison on a conviction of child pornography possession. And a regional high school in New Hampshire is being honored by the state commissioner. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening and welcome to this Tuesday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. 64 people are under arrest and charged with trespassing after occupying the governor's office in Montpelier Monday night, Vermont Public Radio reports. VPR describes the protest as a peaceful sit-in. The protest against a proposed natural gas pipeline was ongoing Monday. By evening, pipeline opponents had made their way into the Pavilion building at 109 State Street in the state capitol. Outside the governor's office on the 5th floor, where protesters had gained unauthorized access to the first floor, men and women from 4 different groups staged a sit-in. These groups include Rising Tide Vermont, the Vermont Workers Center, 350 VT, and Just Power. Arrests were made after the protesters refused to leave the building by 6:30 p.m. The arrests are of men and women mostly from Vermont, but also New Hampshire, New York, and Pennsylvania. Their ages range from 19 to 77, state police report. The protest centers on a proposed gas pipeline for some regions of the state. In a statement today, Governor Shumlin thanked the work of several police departments for their calm manner in dealing with the protesters. Shumlin was returning to Montpelier after earlier visiting with Windsor town leaders about financing repairs to the Mill Pond Dam. Shumlin says peaceful protest is a democratic right. He supports the right for all sides on an issue to be heard. Governor Peter Shumlin issued a statement in response to the sit-in, letting protesters know that he appreciated their respectful protest action, but that it didn't change his mind about the Vermont gas pipeline. Addison County in west central Vermont is the region cited for a natural gas pipeline. Governor Shumlin says he agrees with the protesters that climate change is a genuine environmental concern. Yet changing from fuel oil, which he describes as dirty, to a cleaner natural gas pipeline for heat is better for the earth and economy. On its website, the Addison County Regional Planning Commission explained the pipeline project. Go to our Facebook page at YCN News Now for a link to that site as well. As supplied today by Vermont State Police, a link to the protesters arrested can be found. All are scheduled to appear in Washington County Superior Court, Criminal Division on December 11th. Meanwhile, in southern Vermont yesterday night, a 21-year-old Ludlow man is charged by state police with furnishing alcohol to minors. Police stopped the car Nicholas Liker was riding in at 9 p.m. on Route 103 in Rockingham. The car, being driven by 18-year-old Nicole Dow, was speeding 25 miles over the posted limit of 50. Dow, say police, had been drinking. 2 other people in the car, including Liker, were passing open containers of alcohol among themselves. No one was wearing a seatbelt. Police allege Liker brought the alcohol and gave it to Dow. Liker was arrested on that charge. A December 16th court date is set for Liker in Windham District Court. Police issued Dow citations for speeding, possessing an open container of alcohol, and having drunk alcohol, and for not wearing a seatbelt. The third passenger, unnamed by police, also was issued a citation by police for possessing an open container of alcohol. Also in Vermont police news, a 33-year-old Brattleboro man will spend a year and 1 day in federal prison on a conviction of child pornography possession. Grant Klein was sentenced in U.S. District Court yesterday in Rutland. Klein also will spend 10 years on supervised release once his prison term ends. Judge Jeffrey Crawford also ordered Klein to pay a $100 special fine. In a police press release, Klein describes himself as a pedophile. Klein's prosecution is part of an ongoing U.S. Department of Justice program. Project Safe Childhood is designed to thwart online exploitation of children and child abuse. For more information, go to projectsafechildhood.gov. When YCN News returns, FairPoint workers remain on strike, and U.S. Senator for Vermont Bernie Sanders says management and labor need to again talk to one another. And a New Hampshire high school is being honored by the State Commissioner of Education.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. FairPoint workers remain on strike, and U.S. Senator for Vermont Bernie Sanders says management and labor need to again talk to one another. Sanders, an independent who is mulling a run for the 2016 presidency, says FairPoint leaders need to negotiate in good faith with its 1,700 striking workers. Issues related to health benefit cuts and workers' pensions are the core of the strike. The strike began on October 17th. 450 employees comprise Vermont's FairPoint workers now on strike. FairPoint is based in North Carolina. Southern New England remains served by Verizon. FairPoint began serving Northern New England in 2008. Two union groups joined Sanders, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers and the Communications Workers of America. Additional concerns by FairPoint workers are that the company will outsource some jobs overseas as it cuts labor costs by more than $700 million. The IBEW and the CWA earlier offered a plan to save FairPoint $200 million, yet management did not consider the offer, says Sanders, contrary to good faith bargaining. IBEW business manager in Vermont Mike Spillane says FairPoint is out to destroy middle-class jobs. His CWA counterpart Mike O'Day agrees, saying outsourcing jobs will boost investors' bottom lines. Northern New England CWA President Don Trementozzi and Executive Vice President Carrie Evanson say keeping good jobs in New England is at stake. This afternoon, from Windsor, Vermont, police in that town released information of 4 drug-related arrests. The arrests culminate a narcotics investigation between the Windsor and Hartford, Vermont police departments. Police obtained a search warrant for the premises of 3 Central Street, Apartment B in Windsor. The search yielded supplies of heroin and drug-related paraphernalia. Arrests include that of 33-year-old Tara Slocum, also known as Tara Churchill, is charged by police with heroin possession and conspiracy to sell, deliver, manufacture, or cultivate users of heroin. Slocum's arrest took place at 3 Central Street, Apartment B in Windsor. Police charged 27-year-old Tiffany Thompson of 631 Main Street, Apartment 3 of Cavendish, with possession of heroin with the intent to distribute. Also, 32-year-old Justin Kluwert of 4 Meadow Lane, Ludlow, is charged with violating conditions of his release on another police matter. 20-year-old Devin Danforth of 4056 Middle Road, North Clarendon, is charged by police as well with violating conditions of his release plus, say police, heroin trafficking. On a brighter note, a regional high school in New Hampshire is being honored by the State Commissioner of Education for its academic programs. The award recognizes Fall Mountain Regional High School's delivery of its curriculum across all grade levels, the Eagle Times reports. The school is a member of the New England Secondary School Consortium, a regional group that promotes innovative classroom content and teaching. Fall Mountain Regional is based in Langdon and serves 8 neighboring towns in Sullivan and Cheshire counties. SAU 60 Superintendent Lori Landry accepted the award from Commissioner Virginia Berry earlier this month in Concord. When YCN News returns, we'll hear from Upper Valley Chronicle's Elizabeth DeRazio, who met with Adair Mulligan from the Hanover Conservancy.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
YCN News returns. We'll hear from Upper Valley Chronicle's Elizabeth DeRazio, who met with Adair Mulligan from the Hanover Conservancy. The YCN News continues in a moment. 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 The YCN News continues Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next few days and then move on to sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tonight we'll have mostly cloudy skies with lows in the upper 40s and winds around 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow morning we have a 30% chance of precipitation with rain beginning at 5 a.m. and showers expected after 8 a.m. Highs will be in the 60s and winds will be calm. Tomorrow night will be mostly cloudy with lows in the 40s. Thursday will be mostly sunny with winds around 5 miles per hour and temperatures up to 51 degrees. Thursday night will be mostly cloudy with lows in the mid-30s. Now let's see what's coming up on our community calendar. Tomorrow in Danbury, New Hampshire, the Select Board will meet at 6 p.m. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. There were 2 important games last Friday evening featuring rivals Sunapee and Wilton Lindborough. In the boys' soccer game, Sunapee triumphed over their opponent, shutting them out 4-0. The girls' soccer game had a closer match score. Sunapee edged past Wilton Lindborough 2-1. There were no high school games last night, but some tournaments are beginning tomorrow. More on this tomorrow.
Thanks, Matt. When YCN News continues, we'll join Capital Connections' John O'Connor.
The YCN News continues in a moment.